Tonight's sponsor is Interlock Broadheads, precision and quality broadheads made right here in the USA. Come join us in taking the Interlock Challenge. These handmade, beautiful custom knives are brought to you by Knight Blade Works. You can find them on Facebook under Matthew Blade Works. Susquehanna Custom Lures, home of the Ken's Redfin. You can find them at www.susquehannalures.com. Backcountryinnovated.com. Utilizing deer antlers has never been so easy. Come join the new innovative European mount system. Northern Mountain Game Calls. Handcrafted quality calls and lanyards at prices that will keep you coming back for more.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So, Chris, I know you wanted to mention something before we get started. I'm going to let you have the show.
Yeah, before we get officially going, I want to show that we are getting real close to funding this cookbook. We need about 3 more people. So if you'd want to go on and you want to grab yourself a copy of this cookbook that's made from recipes from all our family, friends, and things we've experimented with, like homemade wine, you can grab it. It's right here. It's ready to go, ready to print. And if you lose the link, well, we have the QR code up there in the corner. Scan that sucker. You can go right to it, and it'll take you there, and you can back it. Simple as that.
Excited about this. So Chris, thank you very much. I'm so glad that we got you to share that, and we're excited to also bring to you guys. I actually met Mark on TikTok, and we got discussing this incredible product that they designed. So tonight I'm going to introduce to you guys Matt and Mark from www.stayalivestringer.com. You guys, I'm going to let you guys kind of have the show here. Tell a little bit about yourself.
Okay, great. Well, I'm Mark.
And I'm Matt.
I'm an avid cat fisherman. So, so Stay Alive Stringer. It's been a weird adventure for us. So, avid cat fisherman, as I mentioned. Matt's actually my nephew. We've been fishing together longer than either one of us can remember. And so I also need to give my wife some credit to the product because we've got a very nice understanding. She does not care how much I fish, how often I fish, or how long I fish. But she has one request, and this is a quote: "Do not bring those smelly things into my house." So, and she'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, like I said, I'm on the bank every chance I get, but I don't bring my fish home. I'm either giving them to other fishermen that I'm with, or that might be on the bank with me, or I end up releasing them. So that's kind of the foundation behind how we came to this. It was about 5 years ago now. I was by myself, and I had a really nice 7.5, almost 8 pound channel on a traditional stringer. And, we all grew up, when you stringer a fish, you're going to go through the gill. You might, do the punch to the lower jaw, but you're going to do something to their mouth and their gills with a traditional stringer. So she was out there, I'm fishing. I look over and I see that she's starting to roll up on the surface on her side, and we all know that's not good. So I grabbed the stringer, pulled her in, got her off, kind of worked her a little bit, got some water going through the gills, and she perked up and swam off. And I go over and sit back down, grab my coffee cup, and that was just kind of an aha moment for me. It dawned on me that because I wasn't going to be able to bring that fish home, and I looked around, there was no other fishermen on the bank that day, which was really unusual. And so I'm like, man, I would have destroyed and wasted that resource. And to destroy an almost 8 pound catfish, it really bothered me. So I just started running scenarios through my head. How could you harness a fish without going through the gills? And I just kept, running different ideas through my head. Everything that I could come up with, I could figure out a way for the fish to get out of it. But I kept coming back to the tail, and just kept coming back to the tail. Like, okay, well, if they can swim, if there's something on their tail, but they can swim, they can breathe. If they can breathe, they can
Stay alive.
Stay alive. That's how we came up with the name. So my first thought was, well, I'll just get some, 50-pound braid or some 50-pound mono. We'll just tie it around the tail, tie them up to a stringer, and call it good. But the more I thought about that, the more I realized it probably would cut through the skin, just because of the diameter of the line. Like, well, that defeats the purpose. So then we just started playing with ideas on materials. I talked with Matt, and I'm like, hey, I got this crazy idea. His response was,
Go figure, crazy idea from Mark.
Sounds like they're often, Mark. I'm just saying. It sounds like they're often.
Yeah. So, but he said, yeah, the idea is cool. So we just started, we were half a year or more just trying different materials, different. We went so far as one time we bought a length of the cotton wicking that you use in oil lamps, thinking that would be nice and soft and wouldn't hurt the fish. We couldn't figure out a way to get it to get a loop into it to go around the tail. We tried, I can't tell you how many different fasteners and drawdowns.
I would say at least a dozen different materials to try and figure out the harness system.
So we ended up landing on the paracord, which we used the 550 paracord on everything. We even went so far in the early with a couple of the first designs. We had an Asian supermarket here in town, and we were able to buy some catfish from the market, and it still had some of the skin on the tail. So I took it up to Matt's, and we got our first prototype on there, and it about 80% worked. It kind of held the fish, but it held it enough that we knew we were on track. Wasn't successful, but we ended up throwing it in a smoker and eating it.
Yeah,
I was going to say, so I have to ask, this was a dead fish, right?
Yes,
You bought a dead fish.
It was a full catfish.
Had to be 7 or 8
pounds. And we tried different things. We laid it on the island in my kitchen, put whatever on it that we were going to try, and we'd pick it up in the air and kind of shake it around, and it'd fall on the floor. We'd go, oh, that didn't work. So we'd pick it up and we'd try the next thing, and then we got that's when we got to the single, right?
To the single harness.
So we got to a single harness with our paracord, and then we did that and picked it up, and it seemed to work pretty good.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, enough so we knew we were on track.
Yeah. So we decided that was enough research, and the fish had fallen on the floor and got rinsed off enough that it was time to go in the smoker.
So, and then we just continued. We were out. We went back out fishing again. We told our wives we were doing research, but we were out fishing, and we had a couple of prototypes with us, and we had, I want to say she was an 11-pound channel.
Yeah.
And so we had her on the traditional stringer, and we put something on her, and it would work. It wouldn't work. And I'm like, for whatever reason, I'm like, well, one sort of works. What maybe two will work. So we took one of the prototypes apart, added it to what we had, kind of made a just a jerry rigged setup. Put the two harnesses on it. Put her back in the water and kept fishing. We get ready to leave, and the stringer's laying in the water. I'm like, oh crap, we lost her. But at that point, we're like, well, if we lost her, not a big deal. We're still, just doing research. And I started pulling on the stringer line, and she was on there. I could feel her tugging and fighting, and she didn't like her tail being pulled. So I probably wouldn't either. But so we pulled her in, and there was about a 3-foot drop from where we were at down to the water. So we hoisted her up over that ledge, and the harness held. And then we had probably close to a 100-yard walk up to the car. And we carried her by the harness all the way up to the car, and she stayed on the harness. And so we were like, wow, this works. So so you can see how it works right there.
Yeah, this is a great video to see how the stringer actually works. So, because a lot of people say, well, what do you mean you put it on the fish or on the tail of the catfish? So we show them this video anytime we do any shows or any fishing expos, we have this video playing on a loop so people can get an idea of what we're doing. And
so
usually,
you're putting the clip, not to interrupt you, you're putting the clip on the width of the body,
Yep.
dead center, it looks like, right?
So yeah, at the
Yeah.
base of the tail, the loop is on there.
so it's a double loop system. So you've got 2 loops. This is the full harness. So on the one end, we've got a clip. So that goes, once you have the fish secured, then that gets clipped into the loops on our stringer line that you put into the water. And then that gets secured to the shore. And then it has a double loop system. So these are basically a slip knot system. This is a black cap. This serves 2 functions. One, it looks a lot better, a lot more finished product than if we have just a knot there. But it also adds friction so that won't move unless you
They
move it yourself.
and if they tug on it,
itself,
if they tug on it, it'll probably tighten it more. It's more likely to tighten it than it would
Correct.
be to loosen it.
And the key is those go on opposite sides of the tail. If you see there in that picture, you put those caps on opposite sides and you cinch that down snug, and they're not going to move once they're secured. That's not going to move on its own. You can pull right on that. It's not opening up.
And then that clips into the shoreline. And so one of the other advantages with what we did is traditional stringers you pack and stack. You just slide them one right on top of each other, and you just further harm the fish. So we put tied loops into the stringer line, and so that once the fish is on there, you would take this and clip it in here. Then your fish can swim out. Your next fish then would be here, and then so about every foot, so you're giving the fish room to swim, and you're not laying them right tight on top of each other. So that helps in the preservation.
Yeah. And then on the other end of our shoreline, we have another clip. We'll loop that around and clip it to itself and put that on a tree root or a tent stake, something along that line. I've seen people use rod holders.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll put an extra rod holder in the ground and use that to attach it so that it's secure. And these will hold. We know we've had our stringers full. We have a 10-foot stringer that holds 5 fish, and we have a 15-foot stringer that will hold 8 fish. We have had up to 8 fish on one of our stringers a few different times.
Yeah.
And
as much as 8 hours.
Yeah, and we pull them in, and they're just as lively as when you caught them. We have a friend of ours that's in, I believe it was South Carolina. We don't have we're in Michigan. We don't have big blue catfish here. There are good sized flatheads, but where we fish, we're getting the channel cats. So we always have people ask us, will this hold a 30, 40 pound fish? So this guy from South Carolina got one, and about 2 weeks after he got it, he made it out fishing, and he called me the next day and said that he had, when he first got out, he had caught a 40-pound blue, and within 45 minutes or so, he caught a second one that was about 40 pounds, had them both on the stringer, and when he was done fishing, they'd been on for 4 or 5 hours. He went over and he saw that the line was just slack, because the catfish, once they realize they can't go anywhere, they're just going to settle on the bottom and just chill out until you start tugging on the stringer. So he thought for sure that the fish were gone until he started pulling on the stringer. Well, then he had 2 40-pound blues, catfish, biting him. And
like a horse pulling a chariot.
Yeah. He said, Matt, I had more fun pulling them in on that stringer than when I actually caught them. And he said I was soaking wet from all the splashing. He said, I loved it though. So
yeah.
Now your stringer, I was watching and doing some research myself. So one of the questions I do have is, your stringer is not just for cat.
Correct.
We targeted cats because that's what we fish for. And we didn't really, and actually we didn't know that we'd even be doing this. We were just kind of, doing it for ourselves, and it kind of took on a life of its own. But we have had customers that have gotten them and used them and then reached back out to us. We've got videos that they've sent us. We've had people successfully use it on walleye, trout, and coho. So the key to the species is a similarity to the tail of the catfish. Those tails are very rigid and very bony. You can grab those fish by the tail and carry them around, and that tail's not going to fold up on you like a bass or a perch would. And so that rigid bony structure is one of the things that helps that be successful. So those species that have similar tail structures, we're finding that it works on those as well. So
we for our bank system, you wouldn't want to put those on, put like a largemouth bass on those, because they're going to swim right out of it. Their tail is just, there's no structure to it. So
it's like
that's just going to collapse.
Yeah, it's like the old lady church fans that just fold up. So,
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead, Chris.
2 questions, just while I'm thinking of them.
Yep.
What's the weight limit?
We don't know. It's 550 paracord, so we know.
Oh, okay.
We know that, you know, if you can break 550 paracord.
So for people that might not know what the 550 means, that's tested to a strength of 550 pounds.
That's half of Ben's butt cheek. Anyway,
Wow.
so my other question was,
That hurt.
how do I want to say, sharks?
Um,
Would this work for that kind of?
the honest answer is we don't know because we don't have sharks.
One way to find out, right?
We've had some folks that fish in those areas, and we've sold them some. We've asked for them to reach back out to us, let us know, send us pictures. If it failed, we would want to know that as much as if it was successful.
And my thought is that it would probably work on a lot of the saltwater fish, like sharks, because they have that rigid tail.
Yeah.
Their tails don't collapse, and their tails are usually pretty good size.
So,
so the only drawback is that's how far our harness opens up. So if you get a big shark or a big, whatever,
they had somebody put it on.
That's not going to work great. Yeah, we've had paddlefish. People put them on paddlefish. And I actually, one of the guys that told me that he was going to be using them on paddlefish, I asked him to send me some pictures, and he did. And he said, and it wasn't real big. It was a decent sized one, but he said it was a little bit harder getting that loop on there because the tail of the paddlefish is very rigid. You can't fold it down at all. So I actually did some custom ones for him that it was about twice the size on that loop. So when he does catch the bigger ones, he can get that on there a lot easier. Yeah, that would be the only drawback. If there's anybody that does saltwater fishing and they would want something with bigger harnesses, they could reach out to us and we can make those, kind of made them to order.
I was actually just going to ask you if you take custom orders, but you already got it taken care of.
Yeah, we would. We would do that. So, So we started out with just the bank system, and again, like Matt said, we got a 10-foot and a 15-footer. That we still have them in those lengths, but we've added what we call our Patriot line, which is the red, white, and blue. So you can get them in that color scheme as well.
We have one of those, don't we?
And then
don't I have one of those?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think I have one of those that you guys are giving away on Thursday. Yeah,
Thursday. Yep.
Correct.
And then you had the picture up there a second ago of our glow in the dark, and I know you've got one of those.
I have one of those too. I bought that one.
Yep.
And those glow green. And they glow quite well.
Yep. They'll glow for 4 to 6 hours. If the guys are out there with the black lights doing the glow shows, it'll pick up off that black light, or you can hit it with a high power flashlight and recharge them. So
those have been pretty popular with the guys that do a lot of night fishing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I wanted one. I was like, dude, I night fish. That would be awesome. I have to look for it.
We don't night fish very much because
we're old. We're old.
Not we. He's old. His bedtime's like 8:05.
So we've kind of expanded our product line some. So the second year we were doing this, we found out about CatCon. And so for the cat fishermen that are in here, they probably are familiar with CatCon, the big mecca of catfishing. And so they had a new product showcase that they ran that year that we were there. It just happened to be a fluke. And so we introduced our bank stringer, and they had a panel of 5 judges. A lot of them were the keynote speakers from the show. So it was folks that, know a little bit about catfishing. And so we actually got this award, if I can put that up there. So best new, there we go. Best new fishing accessory. So we were pretty proud of that achievement. The first year into what we were doing,
it was kind of validation for
us that we were on something.
Made you glow like that stringer.
Yeah, we are. The last round of paperwork has gone into the patent office, so we're just waiting for them to do their thing.
Yeah, we're
fully
patented in the next few months.
Yep. So, but at that show, we only had the bank stringers, and a lot of the tournament guys were there. They liked the fish preservation aspect because, you're out there, you fish all day, you got one fish. Nobody wants to clean one fish, so now you got a way of releasing a healthy fish. If you're not going to take it home, if you are taking it home, the fish has been in the environment that it was living in, and you're taking a healthy fish home versus something that may have expired on the stringer. And if you're out there all day, when did that fish expire? And water gets warm in August, so I don't want to be eating something that's been in warm water and not swimming for a while. So those are some of the pluses to it. But a lot of the tournament guys were like, we got a boat. Your bank stringer isn't going to help me on a boat. And so we kind of picked their brain, and we got home and we kind of started looking around, and because they were talking about something for culling. And so we stayed with the harness, and we tweaked it then to a culling system. So we got a 3-pack and a 5-pack. We're still using that same 2-loop harness that you put on the tail of the fish. But instead of that clip going on the stringer, we've got an EVA float. So I'll let Matt show that to you.
I see there's a question real quick. Yep. So we do sell wholesale. We don't have minimum orders. We hand make all of our products. So if you want 2, we'll send you 2. If you want 200, we'll send you 200, but that might take a few extra days.
Yep. So yeah.
So this is what we developed for the culling system for the live wells. So it's the same loop system, double loop.
Goes on the tail.
And instead of that clip, we put these EVA peg floats on there. We get these through Giant Tamer. They are all different colors. We have a 3-pack and a 5-pack. So you attach that to the fish the same way around the tail. This floats in the top of your live well. So if you know that the one that you have on the yellow float is your small one, and you catch a bigger one and you want to replace him, all you have to do is grab that float. Now you've got a hold of it. You've got control of the fish. You can grab it, get it out of the water, out of the live well, let that one go. He's alive. You can catch him next time. Now you put the next one on, and we have a culling card. I don't know if it's... So each color of the floats is on the culling card, so you can keep track of length and weight. We have a dry erase marker that is included with it. So you change out the length, weight, whatever information you need, and put them back in the live well. We've got several tournament fishermen that use them on a regular basis. That's all they use, and they love them. So they've been a big hit. So
and that was a direct result of feedback from people that we talked to at the shows and customers. So
this is the package they come in, and that's, you can see some of the other colors in there.
I'll tell you what, I like that idea, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that's a really good idea, especially in a tournament case, tournament scenario. How many times are you in a tournament and you're like, God, I wish I could have, I wish I could have done something different. That gives you the option to do something different.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of the tournament people were hearing saying, I know that the clips that they use for like the mouth or the fins tend to get knocked off and fall on the bottom of the live well. So now you don't know what fish you got because your marker is laying in the bottom of your live well.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to come off the tail.
Right.
So think of that.
And from what we found is that most tournaments have a 3-fish or a 5-fish limit. So we do sell them in a 3-pack and a 5-pack. We've had a couple people that have ordered single ones. But we just had a lady last month that ordered 8 of them. I think she was giving them away to people, but I'm not positive. But even if you're not doing a tournament, if you are out fishing and if you've got whatever you're fishing for is a 5-fish limit,
which we have here in Michigan,
you can still continue to fish. And if you catch one that you want to swap out for one in the live well, you can do that.
That's a genius idea.
So
and that's a direct result of just the interaction with our customers and the folks that we meet at the shows.
Now, the color code, was that their idea or was that your guy?
What's that?
Color coding.
The card.
Yeah, so you got the card to mark weights and stuff, but you got your different colors on your. Was that your guys' idea, or was that?
Yeah. So I did a lot of research on culling systems, and everything was color coordinated or color coded, one way or another. So we originally had some like the foam floats, the cheap ones that have like, it's a white foam and they're painted.
Yeah.
We had those originally, and they worked.
But they got beat up.
They get beat up, and the paint comes off, and it chips, and they break a little easier. And so we switched to these EVA floats, and that color runs all the way through that float. It's not going to come off, and there's flex to it.
It's solid.
I'm digging that. I think that's a great idea.
So we've got, like I said, we got 5 different colors, and they're very distinct, to tell them apart.
It's a little hard to see on the card, but we actually took a photograph of each one. And so on the culling card, it's a photo of that float, so you can actually, compare them to the float you got in your hand and be able to tell which one's which.
Yeah. And then another thing with these, when we were talking about the bank system, when I said I wouldn't put a largemouth bass on our bank system because it's a restraint, in the live well, I would put one of these on a largemouth bass in the live well because it's just floating around the top of the water floating around the live well.
There's
it's
no
not
resistance.
Restraining them. You're not going to be able to pick the bass up out of there, but you can at least get the one you want. You got it marked, and you can get a hold of it, so you're grabbing the right one out of there.
Yep. Well,
yeah, I'm liking that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So your bank stringers come in 2 different lengths.
The bank ones are 2 different lengths. There's
Yep.
a 10-foot, and you can put 5 fish on that, and we have a 15-foot. You can put 8 fish on.
So basically, the first half of the stringer length is for the loops to hook your harnesses into, and then the second half is to get you from the shore to the water. So the 15-footers, if you got a little further to go to get to swimmable water for the fish. We did have a guy buy one, and 15-foot wasn't long enough, so he just went out and got a hunk of paracord for himself, added it to ours, and added like 20 feet to it. And
yeah, he was at a really shallow approach.
Yeah,
so he was knee deep in the water when he was fishing.
Yep.
And he was probably 20 feet from shore.
So the one thing I want to say, I watch your guys' videos and stuff, and this should really help you guys out from my own perspective, was when you put the fish back in the water after releasing it with this stringer on, man, when they take off, it's like a rocket. It's like it didn't even affect them.
Yeah.
When you put a fish on it, when you hook them into gills or use one of the metal stringers.
Yeah.
I'm a huge catch and release guy of anything. So when I watched the difference from that to what I did as a kid, I was like, wow, that's incredible that the energy level and stuff, they go right back to being alive and fully healthy.
Yeah.
Well, and they've been breathing. They've been, like you said, once they realize they're not going anywhere, they just go lay on the bottom and they just kind of chill out, but they're down there breathing and they're in the environment they've been living in. So there's no shock to the fish. And then, yeah, like you said, when they're happy to get off that stringer.
Yeah.
So they just take right off. So, but yeah, and again, you've got a healthy fish, you mentioned catch and release. I think everybody practices catch and release. Some people release to the water, some people release to the grease. So either way, this one gives you the ability to have a healthy fish at the end of your day.
I love that.
And we've all had, and I mentioned it earlier, you fish all day, you got no one wants to clean one fish. So, but if he's been on the traditional stringer and he expired, you're stuck. But this way you can just, you can pop him off there and gently put him back in the water and off he goes. So
now you also have, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also have the rod clips. I know me, when I'm carrying my rod in two pieces and I'm carrying across the bank, I am a son of a gun for letting that fly, putting a hook somewhere I don't want it, right? Yep. So you also have them up on your website as well.
Yep. Yeah. So we when we buy our paracord in 1,000-foot spools, so when we're cutting for whatever product, we always end up with scrap pieces. And we were throwing all this stuff away, and we just thought, we're throwing money away. So I jumped online and kind of started looking around, and I saw some rod ties, and I thought, man, we can do that. So it's just our loop system. It's the same loop that's on our
all of our stuff,
our bank system, our live well system. It's that's a rod tie. So
if this were your 2-piece rod, you can put it on there.
You just cinch it down. It's not going anywhere. That's not going to come off of there until you manually release it. And then it's got a knot on the end of it, so it's not going to come apart. We do pack there's 2 in a pack, so you can do the top of the pole, bottom of the pole. We had a lot of people say, well, I don't have any 2-piece rods. Well, all of my catfishing rods are 1-piece, but I drive a car, not a truck. And fortunately my back seat folds down. So from spring until winter, I have my catfishing rods through the trunk, through the back seat, and up into my front seat between, over my armrest. And so I use one of these to go around the tips of my rods so they're not all bouncing around in my car. And then when I'm going from the car to the riverbank, when I'm transporting them, I've got a little golf bag caddy. I put a 5-gallon bucket on the bottom of it, and so my rods sit in there, and I keep these on there. So when I'm going across the grass or down the sidewalk or whatever it is, my rods aren't all falling every direction.
Well, the other thing, guys, I was looking at with that is, so I don't know what size hook you use, but I use a 6-aught octopus, right? So you can actually take that. What I find when I'm walking with a 1-piece rod is that comes loose as I'm walking.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So what I was thinking is you take that and put that on your 6-aught hook, and then around your bottom eye.
Yeah.
Right.
And cinch that, and that won't come off. And that's a big deal walking. Absolutely. When you're walking through somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and I use a 3-way swivel on my setups. So when I break my pole down and I fold it over and you crank it down, my hook is anchored, but I've got my sinker dancing around off the pole. So I just hold that up against the base of the pole, slide the thing up over it, and then just cinch it down next to the. So
that's another great. Yeah, 100%. Another great way. So there's 3 ways just to use them in a matter of 4 ways. Just to use them in a matter of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and we were at a show last year, and a lady come through, and it was one of those where, you try not to assume things, but it's like, this lady's not going to buy anything. She was waiting for her husband to get done looking at boats. And, but she's like, ooh, I like that. I got a bunch of stuff in 5-gallon buckets in the garage. And so she bought like 6 or 7 of them for her to organize her buckets in her garage with her fishing poles in it. And she started walking away. She went, hang on a minute. I need one more. She was going to take them and use them to secure her cross-country ski poles when she was carrying her ski poles.
I mean, yeah, it all makes sense. I mean, the cinch system is fairly easy, but makes a ton of sense for a lot of situations, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I also want to add that we have some of those to give away on Thursday as well.
Yes.
So I believe we have, we'll give away three packs of those, and we have the American flag stringer to give away as well Thursday. So you guys definitely don't want to miss Thursday's giveaway.
Absolutely.
It is going to be super exciting, and we'll run that on TikTok, YouTube, and all those things.
I know we're probably getting tight on time, so feedback from customers, the bank stringer system, we adapted that for the kayak fishermen. They didn't want 10 or 15 foot of stringer behind their kayaks, so we shortened that down to about 3 or 4 foot.
4 foot.
And we put 3 loops on there, so we got a condensed version of the stringer for kayakers. And in conversations with them, almost everybody said, I've had stuff fall off my kayak, I've tipped my kayak, I've lost stuff. So opportunity, using the same loop design.
So we created a
leash,
a kayak leash for your rod, your paddles, your bump boards, whatever you're using.
Big bag.
Got the same loop, except for that opens up quite large. And it's got a carabiner clip on the other end, so you can clip that into your kayak.
Drop your pole, drop your paddles.
I had a guy that called me, and he's like, Matt, I lost $150 rod and reel setup. He had 2 rods out. He had one out. He had one in. He was rebaiting or whatever, and the other pole bent over. So he grabbed that other pole that had just been over, and not realizing that he dropped the one he was working on in the water. Gone. So that's really the catalyst behind this.
Safety clip.
Yeah, it's a safety clip.
Yeah.
You know,
it's 4 foot long, so it's it's plenty of. So even if you're using it on your paddle, you got enough length there to still be able to use those kayak paddles.
Yeah.
We had some paddle boarders that were interested because they could clip to the handle on their paddleboard and then clip it to their life vest. So if they fell off their paddleboard, they didn't lose their paddle. So
there is one thing I really want to not forget to tell our customers. I'm not even sure where we're at for time. There's one thing I definitely want to make sure they know, and that is, if you're looking at this product, there is a few ways you can get 10% off. So if you guys want to tell them that.
Yeah. So for any of your viewers, whether they see it on here in the live or they catch the podcast later on, promo code BSO10. You can enter that at checkout, and there's an automatic 10% discount. So that's for any of your viewers. That'll be on the site permanently, because we know folks may see this down the road. So BSO10, 10% discount. And then we are very, we love our military folks, and we love our first responders. So if you are active duty, if you are a veteran, or you are buying for those folks, on the website, there is a banner, right there it is, 10% off. Use the promo code there, USA1. That'll give those folks a 10% discount. And then first responders. So that's fire, ambulance, police, dispatchers, corrections. If you're currently employed or have been, or you're buying for those folks, there's a 10% discount code, and my bifocals don't work well enough to read the code.
It's just 911.
Yep, the promo code is 91, or the code's 911. So that'll get folks a 10% discount, and that's a permanent thing on the site as well. So we got to update that. ignore that ad.
No, that's a big deal. I don't think enough of people do those things. And not the BSO 10. We get a lot of that. I'm talking about taking care of our first responders and our military. And I don't feel there's ever enough of that in the world. So
No.
I commend you guys for,
Well, thank you.
you know,
we
being
appreciate
able
all
to do
them.
that.
Yep.
And we support some veterans organizations or some organizations that take veterans and first responders out on fishing trips and different things. So
we've donated some things to them as well.
Yeah, we do what we can to support those guys, men and women.
So
Again, I appreciate that. I just think that means the world. So I also want to make sure everybody knows that them rod clip or rod holders, whatever you want to call them, rod ties. I call them clips. I love them because they just clip my rods together. We're going to give away a couple packs of those on Thursday.
Yep.
We're also going to be giving away the American flag Stay Alive stringer that they send us.
That's the 15-footer, I believe.
I believe that was a 15-footer. I remember reading it. I believe it was.
So
it's either a 10 or 15. Regardless, it's going to be. They're not going to be upset about it.
So
it'll be a great thing for them to get their hands on. So anybody watching now, you definitely want to tune in Thursday at 6. We are going to give away the products. Mark and Matt have made our lives so much easier. They gave us codes and everything. I don't have to put nothing together. Just run to live and know what they want already. I love it.
Yeah. And the rod ties. So there's a glow in the dark. There's a Patriot, and there's a signature orange.
Yep. And I got to be honest with you and tell you that I absolutely love the orange. I thought the orange was. How do I say it? I thought the orange was.
Orange was actually intentional. And we call it our signature orange because when we were like developing all this, it dawned on me that if you're staking this on the ground and I'm going down by the shore to fight a fish and this stringer is out there, I got to worry about tripping over that thing. Or if I'm fighting a fish, where is that stringer in the water? So when the stringer's in the water for several feet out, you can see that cord in the water. So you at least know the angle that the cord's too close to the camera. Sorry, squirrel. Direction of the cord in the water. That's what we're talking about. So you know which way that stringer is going out in the water, so you can direct your fish away from that, so you're not tangling the one you're fighting in your stringer line of the fish. So so we intentionally went with the orange.
I was thinking the words high vis, if that helps. High vis.
High vis. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely high vis. And that was intentional for those reasons. The glow in the dark wasn't anything we'd been thinking about, but somewhere I saw some glow in the dark paracord on something. I thought, hey, catfishing, nighttime, glow in the dark, makes sense.
Listen, I'm a night fisherman. The first time I seen your glow in the dark, what I do, message you and say, hey, if I buy one, will you ship it with?
Yeah.
I was stoked, man. I love that glow in the dark. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So some folks may notice that the glow in the darks are a little more expensive than the rest of the ones. We've tried to keep our pricing as low as we possibly can. But the price of a spool of paracord is twice as much as the price of the other colors.
Yeah, the glow in the dark.
It's just something about the process of making that makes it more expensive. We're still going to use it. We're still going to make it, but folks will notice we kept the difference as small as we could. So
we are actually at 1 minute left on the clock.
Okay.
Which again, I'm not about cutting anybody short, so I apologize if we're.
Yeah, no,
I told you, time's going to fly. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
I warned you up front.
So we just want to say thank you so much. We've been looking forward to this. We appreciate what you do. We'll be there Thursday night and hanging out with as well. So
yeah, thank you.
Again, Thursday night, we're going to give away some of their products. They actually shipped them to us a month ago. We have them already. Yep. We've been sitting on them. We wanted to run the Thursday after the podcast to make sure you guys get to see the product, right? You get to see it, hear why it was made, what it's about, how it works, what fish. So we covered all that, and I think that should really help. So you guys are definitely going to tune in on Thursday because Mark and Matt will be there watching. And the cool part of that is if you have any questions then as well, they can answer them during the live as well.
Correct.
So that'll be great by itself.
Yep. BSO 10.
And BSO 10 will get you 10% off your order. Don't forget, if you are a military vet, in the military, first responder, buying for a first responder, these guys will also hook you up with that 10% on their website as a codes. And you want to go to www.stayalivestringer.com and make sure you check out my two men here, Mark and Matt. Tell them hi. And even if you don't use my code, I'm fine with that. You don't have to use Chris's code. Everybody else's, you can just say, hey, Big Sexy sent you, and we're okay with that as well.
Yep.
You have a great group of guys here. I think their product's incredible. I was dying to use it myself, did not get the opportunity. So, guys, I'm going to leave you with a question. I never hang up without a question. I have one question I always end the show with, and that is, your product's a little different. So I'm not going to use your product in the sense of, I usually don't use people's products in the sense, I use their experience. So I'm going to give this to you. If you could get someone in the outdoors, if there's a way you can intrigue them and get them there, what would you tell them?
Just go. If you put a fishing pole in your hand, man, you cook that first catfish, you're going to be coming back. There's nothing like it. So
Yeah. Just give it a try.
Just give it just get out there and do it. Same with hunting or, any of the outdoor stuff. And just, take a kid with you. I've been very blessed. My grandson has really gotten into fishing this summer, and he's 10. And so he looks forward to going with Grandpa every other week, and Grandpa probably looks forward to it more than he does. So, take him out there, introduce him to it. And it is so therapeutic to be on the water with a fishing pole. It's good for the soul.
Great.
Amen. Guys, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for sending us the prizes we're going to give away on Thursday. Thank you for your time, and thank you for joining us. God bless both you guys, and we just pray everything keeps going forward for you. And thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate you.
God bless. Have a great night, guys.
You too.